What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome. Hello, beautiful people.
Well, first, I want to start off by saying, this is how I met Gia. This is the B-girl stance, around the way girl at the bus stop, champion hoodie, champion sweats. I mean, we didn't have Louis. That was probably Coach back then or Steve Madden. But that was the B-girl. Boom.
Okay.
I'm going to give you some B-girl dick tonight, baby. But now to do this podcast, I thought the best way to do this podcast was to have S. Dot on the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. I figure, last week we talked about S. Dot and his son, and he was supposed to have the conversation with his son. And I was like, let's have him on to see, how that conversation went.
Mm-hmm.
But,
what?
You know what the but is?
No, he didn't have the conversation.
He didn't have the conversation. He dead scared of his son. I'm like, why you didn't have the conversation? I was going to have it today. Or I was going to have it tomorrow. He's scared of his son. So
it's been a week, but okay.
But he didn't have that conversation. So something else I seen online and was talking about was money in a relationship. And how money sometimes, especially with men, shows how much a respect a woman has for a man.
You mean it determines?
Determines, correct.
Okay.
So in a lot of relationships, if people always say, money can make or break a relationship, right? They say the number one thing about relationships that causes divorces or breakups is money.
It usually is the number one reason for problems in a relationship.
But why is that? And not to put anybody's business out there, but I was talking to Benz, all right?
So you're just going to put her business out there?
I know. But, Benz has a man, by the way.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, he does. I got a name and everything.
His
name is Chuck.
You are so ridiculous.
So if you don't know, Benz was scared of the dog. She hated the dog. She wouldn't even get out the car. She would call him like, can you get the dog? Now her and Chuck have this newfound relationship. She goes out there. Different. She plays with him. The dog jumps on her. You didn't see the dog jumps on her.
No, she told me.
The dog jumps on her.
Now every day that she walks in the house, she's like, I love Chuck. I just love Chuck.
No.
Chuck. You don't even understand. I love Chuck. And I'm like, why? He's an attack dog.
No.
I don't get it.
Usually Chuck lays in the grass, or he lays by the front gate, or he lays on the side. He lays somewhere in the cut.
Wait, is that the reason why he's at the front door right now?
He's waiting for her. He waits right at the front door while she's here and just sits there and just patiently lays down and waits for her. I bet he's right there now.
Okay.
Just waiting, chilling.
So this relates to money and respect.
Oh, no,
How?
it doesn't. I was just going to tell you something that I seen. I was saying that she had a boyfriend, but she really doesn't. It's just Chuck. But anyway, she was saying that, if she's in a relationship and she feels that her man is not making money, she doesn't respect him the same.
Oh, that's what you guys were talking about? I think I...
Turn your ring off on your phone.
I thought I did. I thought that I came downstairs and overheard you guys. So you were talking about today's podcast topic.
Correct, right.
Okay.
And she was saying that in a lot of relationships that a lot of women don't have respect for their man if their man is not bringing in the money and taking care of home.
Absolutely.
Well, let me get your opinion on it. How do you feel about that? If a man is not bringing in the bacon, is not doing what he's supposed to be doing at home, why do a lot of women feel like they can talk to a man however way they want to, or the respect level goes down a little bit, I feel?
As wrong as it is, common sense kind of dictates that answer. You said earlier that financial issues are the number one cause of relationship problems and divorce, at least in this country. And it probably always has been. And the reason is because financial hardships are stressful.
Right.
And when you're stressed about your finances, not being able to pay bills or having a hard time paying bills, car notes, having a hard time putting food on the table, anything along those lines, it becomes stressful. If I am stressed, 9 times out of 10, I inherently take that stress out on others. If you're the closest person to me, you're going to be the number one recipient of my stress.
So you understand that?
I don't think that it's right. What I'm saying is, now if you are the breadwinner and you're good at bringing home that bread, I'm not stressed because I'm able to go out and eat with my girlfriends. I don't have to think about ordering that $14 drink. I know that there's food in my refrigerator. I know my card note, my insurance is paid. I know the rent or the mortgage is paid. I can go buy a new pair of shoes if I like. I can go buy a new pocketbook if I like. I am relaxed. And not only that, whether consciously or subconsciously, I am grateful to you for taking care of home and being the provider that most women look at the man in their life as he should be.
Yeah, I get that. But all right, first of all, I don't want to have Ben.
It's wrong.
I don't have Ben sound like a gold digger. Ben said that
She's not a gold digger.
she would have a problem if she felt like her man was lazy and not going out there trying to make it, right? That's one. But I don't understand why money in a relationship is so strong, right? And the reason I say
Wait, you said you don't understand why money in a relationship is so strong?
No.
Okay.
Because when people fall in love and they get together, it's not based on how much money they have. It's not based on...
Says who?
I mean, it says most people, right? I didn't.
No.
You didn't start talking to me because I had money.
You said most people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I would say that it's a lot, a significant number, or most, but I would say many. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about on, two podcasts ago. People are oftentimes disingenuous when they get into relationships. And they get into relationships and quote unquote fall in love for the wrong reasons. A lot of women will happily choose to fall in love with a man who is successful and can provide them a certain lifestyle. Many men will choose to fall in love with the female who may not be the sharpest tool in the box, but is beautiful and has a nice body. A lot of time it's disingenuine. It's not because we just genuinely enjoy each other's company. Sometimes you get into a relationship for those reasons and then you learn to enjoy each other's company or you subconsciously enjoy each other's company. But I don't think that just because we're together, it means that it's because we felt madly in love.
I mean, that's what it should be, though.
That's what it should be. But on that same podcast, didn't you kind of knock me for having this ideal of how relationships should be and how life should be? You were right.
Yeah,
life should be a certain way and things should happen for certain reasons, but it doesn't mean that they do, and they most certainly do not.
At this instant right now, out of all the podcasts we had, I now understand why some couples say, you know what? You keep what you have, I keep what I have.
In this moment. Explain. Going into the relationship by means of prenup, or during the relationship, or a divorce, you keep what you have and I keep what I have.
All of the above.
So just always. Mm-hmm. We go to dinner, we go stag, we go dolo. I pay for me, you pay for you.
No. Not that far, but I understand why a lot of couples say, you know what, in this relationship, this is mine and this is yours. And the reason being is...
In this instance.
Yeah, in this instance. Okay. Because having this conversation with Ben's earlier and Esdot and even with you, what I realize is that I don't want to be in a relationship if it's based off of money. I don't want money to be in a relationship, right?
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because...
Can't not be.
Yeah, it can be.
It cannot be.
If you make...
We can't function as a couple without money being one of the factors in our relationship.
I'm gonna tell you why most couples do it. Now I understand why most couples do it. I'm against this, and maybe we met so young we didn't have any money, so it wasn't based about money. It was based about love. But no, if you make $100,000 a year and I make $100,000 a year, that's your money. That's my money. We split the bills in the house. This is our mortgage, so we split that. The bills, we split that. Everything else we can do together, but now I understand why.
Why do you understand? Why the epiphany?
Because just like you said, if like what Ben said, if you don't respect me because I'm having a bad month or I'm fucked up or I can't pay the bills, then that's a problem. Because I'm not in this relationship because based off of, hey, wait, you have a good salary, or wait, you got a good 401k, or hey, you got a good trust fund, oh, hey, your job is good. I'm not in that relationship because of that. I'm in a relationship because something in you that I love, that I want to be with, regardless of money.
I have so many things to say about what you just said.
Go ahead.
First of all, a brick didn't just fall out of the sky and hit you in the head and let you know that women marry men for money. You know that, you've said that, we've conversed about that. This is very, very, very clear. It's a very clear and understood way of the world. Hold on.
I understand that.
Hold on. And you are not just now finding out that men date and marry women because they are beautiful.
I didn't say that.
So why the epiphany? What happened just now or today when you were conversing with S. and Mercedes earlier, that makes it seem to me as though this is a newfound notion?
Because I just put myself in when S. and Benz and I were talking, I just put myself into that man, right? So if I'm a man and I make money, you talk to me respectfully. But then if I'm fucked up and I lose my job and I ain't got it and shit is hard, you talk to me disrespectful. Nah, now I'm on it. Like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Now it's like, no, you have yours, I have mine.
I absolutely
I'm good.
agree.
I had a great month. I got a bonus. I'm gonna buy myself a Ferrari.
Guess what I'm about to go get?
Oh, you drive a Honda Accord. Okay. High five to your Honda Accord because that's what you make. I don't make that, bitch. That's how I feel. Because it is what it is. You can't talk to me respectfully when things are nice, but then when it's hard out there for a pimp, is nigga go get a job, or how come you ain't working, or how come they cut the lights off, or what's going on? No, not at all.
I think that you're absolutely right. And that girl would deserve the FU if you lost your job, if you had a bad month or whatever. I think what I walked in on, and I didn't know it was going to be a podcast topic, but I think what I walked in on was Ben saying something to the effect, and correct me if I was wrong, because I wasn't there for the whole conversation, was that if you have no ambition, if you have no drive, if you have no desire for success, I don't want to go, I don't want to go the whole bum route, but if you're just complacent and you are not trying to elevate or motivate yourself, then I think she's saying that she cannot find it within herself to have the utmost respect for you. And
I get it
with that, when you listen, respect is such a huge thing. Respect is when, for me, when you look at a person and you take account of all of their attributes. You take account of their worth. What they do that sets them aside from other people. That generates a feeling. And it kind of sums up to respect. When you look at someone and they're lacking, you lose that respect, even though you may not necessarily be trying to lose that respect. Do you see what I mean? And you might say something that when you look at everything else in your Rashawn box, I'll just put you in the scenario. I look at everything else in the Rashawn box and you might do something to upset me. I might let it go because there's so many other things that you do and that just might have been your faux pas for the day. But if you have more bum-like qualities, and that's extreme, I don't really mean complete bum-like, but let's just say more bum-like qualities, and you say something crazy to me, or you snap at me, or you are having a hard day and you come home, you take it out of me, you might not get that pass because in the Rashawn box, there's not much else to hold you up. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like the totality of a person, and that will give way to what the person on the receiving end of your BS might take or might not take.
Okay, well, perfect example.
Does that make sense to you?
It does a little bit. Perfect example, right? And this is not our relationship, right? Let's say I'm in a relationship with somebody, right? And they don't work, or if they work, they make a little bit of money, and I'm having a hard time. Right? You can't talk to me fucked up because you're a bum. You don't do shit. You can't talk to me fucked up.
If you're a breadwinner and I'm not.
If I provided all this time and now I'm having a bad time, maybe because of COVID, maybe because I lost my job, maybe because I have no inspiration, maybe because things are going bad, you don't have no right to talk to me how crazy. No. Fuck out of here. Because the last 5 years, I made sure everything was good. Right?
Of course.
So now when I'm in a drought. I
agree with you.
Oh, because now when I'm in a drought, just like a Major League Baseball player, right? I'm hitting home runs for the first 5 seasons. The 6th season, I'm in a rut. Now it's like, oh, let's trade him. Let's get rid of him. Fuck him. My whole thing is, yeah, fuck you. But that's how I feel.
I agree with you. I think that it is foul if, let's say, a woman, because I think you're referring to, without really saying who you're referring to, it's a woman, right? Okay. So if I'm a woman and I only respect you when you're an earner, meanwhile your mind is right, meanwhile you have a successful
well, my mind might not be right.
Outlook. What do you mean?
Meaning There's hustlers and then there's halfway hustlers, right? I'm a hustler. And not hustler as in sell drugs. I'm a hustler mean I'm going to get it.
Right.
I'm going to fight to get it. I'm going to do what I have to do to get it. I'm going to make moves. I'm going to work hard. You know, even during this COVID, I'm going to make sure that most people plan 3 months. Some people plan 6 months. I probably plan 2 years, right? That's why when COVID hit, it affected us and affected everybody, but it wasn't like we couldn't, you know, where some people lost everything. We were able to survive, right? Now, some people don't.
Right.
Some people can't. Some people are lazy. Some people, when they get a smack in the face, it depresses them. They can't get up and work. They don't want to grind. It's the same thing as they want it, but they don't really want it. They say they want it all day long, but they don't really want it. It's almost like they want the money, but they don't want to fight for it.
They may not have the mindset.
They don't want to fight for the success. And I don't even think it's the mindset. I don't think it's the drive.
Which is part of mindset.
Like, for instance, you know why me and Benz gets along so well? She has the mindset. She has the drive.
She does.
She's going to fight, right? That is Benz.
She's going to get it.
Now, Benz
by hook or crook.
Benz will get cranky. Benz will be upset. Benz will be nasty, but she going to get this shit done. That's
End result.
That's why me and Benz get along so well.
Deadlines, timelines, goals.
Right.
The bag.
Right. Not to put that out there.
her tombstone.
Not to put S. out there. S. wants it, but he doesn't have the 100% drive. Like, he'd be like, yeah, I want it. 8 p.m. Yeah, I want it. 9 p.m. Yeah, I want it. 10 p.m. Yeah, I want it.
2 a.m. F this ish.
2 a.m.
I'm tired. I want to go home.
I want to go home. I gotta go to the bathroom.
And I'd be like, nah, bleep.
But
nah.
But
we gotta finish.
But that's the different type of hustler mentality, right? You can't say you want to get it, but when it gets to that point where it's between here and here, and you don't want to take it to that next level.
So you're saying that to say
that if somebody's like that and you talking to me crazy or you have no respect for me.
If someone's like what?
Like, let's say S. right? Or let's say me. Let's say myself. Nobody could talk to me crazy if I have money or I don't, because I work hard to try to get it. I work hard to provide. I work hard to be a man, right? You can't talk to me crazy. S. will work. He will hustle. He would try to do what is taken. Should you talk to him crazy? No. Now, for somebody who doesn't work and doesn't hustle, can you talk to them crazy? No. It should not be about the money.
You're just saying nobody should talk to anybody crazy.
I don't think nobody should talk to anybody crazy.
That's not realistic.
Why not?
It's just not realistic.
Why not?
No. Again, you know, you always get on me because he knows, I'm sure all of you know, if this isn't your first podcast watching us and getting to know us as friends, I am a very idealistic person. I operate my life based on how things should be. But I only have control of my life. I can't control what other people think. I can't control what other people do. And you did during the podcast, I believe, and certainly after the podcast, you know, you spoke to me about, you know, you want things to be a certain way. You want people to fall in love and choose their mates based on personality and connection and chemistry, but that's just not real. So I take that. I understand. I'm going to operate my life that way, but I don't have any influence of what other people do. So for you to sit here and talk about idealistic expectations,
I would never want to be with a person like that, though. I would never want to be with a person that because if one day when we good, we all good. But next, a year from now, if we not good, you talk to me disrespectfully, like, oh, you can't do this because you're not a man. I don't want to be in that type of relationship because we're all different. Like, just everything that we do is different, right? And like for yourself, right? Now, you know, we were selling this house. We didn't move out yet. We're almost there. But let's say
which is why our bar is so empty.
Right.
And if you watched 2 podcasts ago, we were in our library. The background is very empty. Our shelves are empty. It's because we've moved most of it out.
Right. So like you and me are different.
Very.
Let's say we have a showing on Friday. Somebody's coming to see our house. Gia will wait till Thursday to clean and get the house in perfect condition. And when I say perfect condition, perfect for you is not perfect for her. House is perfect, but that's not perfect for Gia. So Gia will stay up for 24 hours trying to make it happen. I'm not that type of person.
Do it be perfect?
I will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it be perfect, Benz?
Yeah.
Do it be perfect, Estat?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Benz and Estat usually want to kill you after.
Hey.
But
During.
me myself, I'm like, oh, we have a show on Friday. Let's do it a little bit each day till we get to that time. So Friday,
I do
we're
that
gonna do it.
too. I do that too.
No,
but
no, you don't.
understand crunch time. Crunch time means like, listen, and it's not just if we have a showing, it's if we're having a party pre-COVID, or if people are coming over, or I just feel like it, it's just.
Well, we're totally, but me,
So what are
me
you
saying
getting
that
at?
is we're totally two different people when it comes to certain things. People grind differently. People do things differently. And in a relationship, I don't think anybody has the right to be disrespectful. I think it should be more building a person up. And if you get to that level of being disrespectful because I'm fucked up or because I can't make it, I don't want to be in that relationship, because now you're only with me when things are good.
Of course.
And we all know that in every relationship, things ain't all good. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. But it's the valleys and peaks that get you through a great relationship.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying. Like, don't make it about money. A relationship shouldn't be about money. I'm not with you because you're beautiful. I might be with you
Yeah.
because you got big titties, but not because
That's
you're
not
beautiful.
really true. You wouldn't have given
I'm
me a
not.
chance if you didn't find me
Right,
attractive.
but I didn't fall in love with
Like
you.
you wouldn't. How
But-
did you put it 2 weeks ago? I wouldn't have made it through the door if you didn't find me
Correct.
to be attractive to you.
No, you wouldn't have made it to the door. But what got you through the door is not.
I wouldn't have made it on the porch.
It's not this.
I wouldn't have even been on the block
But it's not this.
for you.
It's not
And-
this.
and that's
It's this.
And that's the reason why I brought that podcast topic up to you, and that's why I sent it to you. And I said, this is something we should talk about, because low key, I was talking about you.
Right. But
I was talking about
but this the thing.
you.
But this
So you're talking about all this idealistic stuff. You're not even. You have no right because you fall in the category.
but this is what I'm trying to explain to you.
I'm
This-
different.
hold on, this-
wait, let me say something. I think that, let's say we weren't together. Let's say you never came into my life.
Mm-hmm.
I could be with someone that wasn't well off and couldn't provide the level of lifestyle that we live. If I liked him, if we had chemistry, if I liked the way that we communicated, if I liked our connection, I don't judge a man by what he can provide for me. If you lost everything tomorrow, we would go right on without a hitch. So I love you for you. I love your charisma. I love, my attraction to you. I love your fun-loving, boyish nature. And that's why on that podcast, I was saying that men that choose women just for their beauty, they're the losers, because you're missing out on the things that really make a relationship happy. If you were in a fire and your skin melted and you recovered and you looked very different from how you look now, I wouldn't love you any less.
Right.
I wouldn't be any less attracted
That's
to you.
because you're already in love with me. But if and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Let's be honest. If you was butt ass ugly,
Awesome.
no, I wouldn't take you on a date. No, I wouldn't have kicked it to
I'm
you.
not talking
I'm being
about
honest,
butt-ass
but
ugly, Rashawn.
but that's not why I married you. That's not why I fell in love with you. I fell in love with you because of here and here. I didn't fall in love with you because of this and that. Like, put a perfect example. All of this and that got me like this, right? This and this made me.
I feel bad for y'all if you just listen on SoundCloud and you didn't get to see that, because you might not understand what he meant, but
That's the truth.
basically, if you're just listening and not watching on YouTube, he said that his attraction level made him hard, but the intellect and chemistry made him nut. That's the
truth.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. But I
Well,
don't know. What I do know is that looks are very important to you.
yeah, they are. That's
Probably
what-
more important than most people.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, of course, you want somebody that you're attracted to and that's beautiful, right?
Okay.
Beautiful in your own right, or how you feel that beautiful
Yeah, beauty's
is.
in the eye of the beholder.
Correct.
Everybody.
Right. So when it comes to our relationship, yeah, I mean, I'm attracted to you. You're beautiful to me, right? Somebody out there might say, well, she's not beautiful to them, you know, but you're beautiful to me. You're everything to me. But that didn't want me to make me marry you. That wouldn't want me to spend the rest of my life with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because now tomorrow, if the beauty fades away and you look whatever, I don't care. I'm with you for the long run till it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Till we're both in the grave with each other. You know, and then when we're on the grave, hopefully you're face down and I'm on top of you. You know what I mean? But It is what it is. But that's how I feel. But in relationships, when I'm talking and I hear people disrespecting because of money, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Now, I understand the attitude because even with myself, like COVID put a lot of stress on a lot of people, you know, for ourselves. COVID put a lot of stress on us. Reason being is, you know, we lost millions of dollars during COVID, right? Mm-hmm. Millions of dollars. Most of that money was money that we would use to invest, money that we would use to do the house that we wanted to do, money that we would use to do so many different things. We couldn't. We still did it, but it hurt because all this money I could see coming in and just stopped, and I could just see the money, and I'm looking at it through the glass, like, you know, trying to grab it.
I looked up like I could see the money.
Yeah, like you can see the money. Like, you know, it's like that. I think it's like a Geico commercial where the money's there, and the guy tries to grab it, and he's like, oh, too late.
I didn't see that commercial.
You know, he got the fishing rod.
I didn't see that commercial, no.
But that's how I feel. But so I know it is stressful for a lot of people, but I just don't feel like respect comes with how somebody can provide.
For a lot of people, it does.
I think that's why.
Because especially if a woman got into that relationship because of what could be provided for her and her children if they had any, which is why I think part of the reason why so many relationships didn't make it through COVID.
Correct.
I think that's part of the reason why the divorce rate, or at least the divorce inquiry rate, was so high.
Correct.
Because financial difficulty is a hardship, and I'm stressed. Now I'm taking it out on you, and I'm looking at you like, why can't you out and get another job? Or maybe I understand why you can't get another job, but why aren't you looking? Why aren't you looking as hard as I expect you to look? Why aren't you out 5 days a week looking for a new job? Why aren't you creating opportunities? Why aren't you trying to create a business? Figure out what needs people have and try to fill those voids. Where's the income? Like, we're suffering, the kids are suffering. I could see arguments like that going on top of the fact that we're on top of each other, especially when we were all quarantined. And now I'm putting stress on you, you're putting stress on me. There's this plethora of time that we're spending together now that I'm not used to. You know, I'm used to you going out the door, me going out the door, me spending morning coffee with you, and then evenings with the kids where I'm probably giving them baths and feeding them and putting them to bed, leaving enough time for us to watch a Netflix movie, maybe have sex and go to sleep. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then I entertain your time on the weekends. We might go on a date, or we might do something special, or have a weekend plan, or spend time with friends, or whatever. Now you got people on top of people, and they're not used to it. You have that stress, you have the stress of financial hardship, and that leads to the potential of divorce in a lot of cases. Some people weathered that storm, others did not. But if I'm with you and a big part of you is your ability to provide, and now all of a sudden you can't do that, if I'm not with you for 100% of the right reasons, that is going to take a toll on our relationship. But more importantly, at the root of it, the respect that I have for you. And everybody wants to be respected. So for instance, let's say, you guys know, whatever, you met me, I'm a virgin, right? You're the first person I've ever been with. You're the only person I've ever been with sexually, right? Let's say we took a break. Let's say we separated and we took a break. And you found out that during that separation, let's say it was a year-long separation, I knocked off 6 dudes. Living my life, having fun, wanted to experiment and experience. We get back together. We find our way back to each other. And we're married. And then we have a come to Jesus moment where we're honest with each other. And you say, well, did you date while we were separated or whatever? And I say, yeah. And you're like, well, be honest with me. You know, how many people did you date? We get into that conversation. Oh, well, did you sleep with him or whatever? And I'm honest. I feel like I'm in a safe space. Yes, I slept with him. Well, and you're like, wow. And what about the other dude you said that you were seeing? Whatever. Yeah, I slept with him too. And you find out I slept with 6 people. We're back together. You love me. During our hiatus, you realize that you really wanted to be with me and you missed me and everything. But you might look at me different. The expectation, what I'm delivering, it's different. So now when we're spending time together, you might be looking at me like, yeah, I love her. I just don't have the same amount of respect for her.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I talk to you or when I ask you for something or ask you to help me with something or, one of the love languages, acts of service, I want you to do things to make my life easier. You might be thinking, bleep that bleep. Like, nah. Mm-hmm. You're looking at me different because there were things that you fell in love with. I provided you a sense of exclusivity. You felt like, okay, I'm the only one she's been with. You take pride in that or whatever. I take that away from you. It's something that you were really into regarding our relationship, ultimately our marriage. I take that away from you. I'm not that person anymore. I can't do that for you. I can't provide you that sense of exclusivity anymore. Then what happens? You may not be trying to. It just might come naturally to you that you look at me different. If you look at me different, what happens? You treat me different. See what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying that these women are right. And I'm not saying that I would be wrong if we separated. I'm well within, that's another argument. Let's just say it was acceptable for women and men to experience other people while they're separated. Not all people agree with that. And I'm not saying I even agree with it. But let's just say that I do for the sake of this conversation. I'm well within my rights to be with 5 or 6 other people. If I choose to, it was a mutually... It was a conclusion that was come to mutually, and I acted on it. So I'm well within my rights. Just because I'm well within my rights, and just because all is good in the hood, doesn't mean you don't look at me differently because I did it.
Gotcha.
So the woman that's used to be provided for, that found comfort in that, and loses that, as wrong as it may be, maybe as wrong as 2 left feet, but maybe she might not look at you as a man anymore. And if I don't look at you as a man anymore, then respect is lost. Just charge it to the game.
I got you. Well, the one thing I learned from this conversation is I'm never separating from Gia, because if she knocks off 6 dudes, we'll have a problem.
They're going to have a problem.
Let's get to the email of the week. I ain't fucking with you. Hi, Benz. Thank you for taking the time to read this email. I will try to keep it brief. Gia and Envy, I love your show. Gia, you are everything you think you are and then some, and your stance on the show is needed and appreciated. Envy, I love you so much more. You are the best. I love you on the Breakfast Club. I love your cute little shorts when you ride the bikes. And oh my gosh, I have a huge crush. Your candidness is incredible, and I believe most men think like you, so please continue to say it exactly as it comes to you.
So just clarify that she did not say half of what he said she said.
Nope, she didn't say half of that, but y'all can figure out what she said and what she didn't. Now, my boyfriend and I are in our 30s, and we've been together for 5 years. Beginning in our 30s, we want to get married, but we can't go more than 2 weeks without a blow-up argument. In all of the 5 years, and we don't know how to understand each other's point of view. But a couple of days ago in December, my boyfriend told me he thinks I'm gay. I've never had an orgasm through penetration, only oral, and he's starting to get sick of it. He said that his penis doesn't please me, and because I was with a woman in high school, he thinks that I really want women. Also, because in the beginning stages of our relationship, I made a effing statement saying, if this doesn't work, I'm leaving men and I'm going to women.
That would do it.
I didn't mean that at all. Somebody's coming down and saying, who that? Back upstairs, Brooklyn.
Downstairs.
Or basement, go. Yes.
You could go, sweetie pie. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye, choo-choo.
Now, she says, I didn't mean that at all. That was the statement. I'm leaving men and going to women. I'm not blind. Women are beautiful, but I don't want one. I want a man, and I want this man. But sex is very important, and we don't always connect in that way. I'm very attracted to him, likewise, from him to me, but I don't always get aroused, and he can't make me with his penis. Now, his penis is small, not as big as yours, Envy, I'm sure. She didn't say that. She said, now his penis is large, perhaps too large for me. I don't know. But we need some advice on how to improve that, because we have the best time together, and we put out a lot into this relationship. We're working on the arguing, we go to counseling, and we do tell one another how we feel. We're very open. Any advice? Because I love this man. We don't have any kids. We are planning to build a life together. We do argue less and have more and better conversation and sex. Thank you all. Signed, we're not getting any younger. What do you say?
Okay.
She would know because she used to fake the O, so.
Wow, you just won't let that go.
No, I won't. It hurt me. I'm traumatized. Every time I see an email like this, I start thinking. Go ahead.
What he's referring to is the fact that...
We don't have to go back to it. Go back
But for
a
the
couple
fact,
podcasts.
but for the fact that you just brought it up.
Let's go back a couple of podcasts. You'll understand.
It wasn't
Continue.
a couple of podcasts. So I understand that. So I am going to give you, I don't really like the word advice. You guys know that, but this is actually going to be advice because it's something that actually worked for me. You said that his penis is large, possibly even too large for you. It's a good thing.
You have that
right?
problem too.
I have that problem too. Just kidding. No, I'm
No, you're
not.
not kidding. Go ahead.
So anyway, me not being able to reach the O for a long time in my marriage had nothing to do with Rashawn. That's a stretch. It had something to do with him because we started dating very, very young. And at first, especially, he was inexperienced. So he had ideas about sex that didn't jive with what sex and intimacy really is. So, you know, a lot of guys think the harder you pound, the better of a job that you're doing. When for us, in most cases, that's not necessarily the case. So there was that. And then I do feel that earlier on in our relationship, he was selfish. But I also think that's because he didn't have any sex mentors or anybody that he spoke to. And if he was speaking to friends, it was probably other barbarians that had no clue what they were doing either. So I think that he didn't really understand that a woman's pleasure was part of the deal. So aside from that, physically and physiologically, there was no issue. He was everything that I wanted. A lot of the problem was on me. I couldn't achieve an orgasm because of the same things I'm accusing him of. I was inexperienced. He was the first person that I had ever been with, and I didn't really have anyone that I spoke to in depth. I had girlfriends that were engaging in sex around the same time that I was. So, you know, they were pretty clueless too. And the more I heard, the more they were going through the same thing. So a lot of you females probably have a lot of other female friends that are not able to achieve orgasm during sex. So I'll tell you what I know. During sex, for me, there's two ways to achieve orgasm. One is by his penis hitting my G-spot, and number two, by his penis giving me clitoral stimulation, okay? Women are more able to relate to the clitoral stimulation part of it and not necessarily the G-spot part of it. You got to know where your G-spot is. Your G-spot is, don't really want to be graphic, but if I'm really giving you advice, I got to tell you. You stick your finger in the vagina and curl up, your G-spot is kind of in that curl up position. So if you're able to reach that spot and stroke it in a way that's pleasurable to you, and only you can decide what is pleasurable to you, whether it's slow, if it's a grind, or, you know, whatever it is, that is a start to kind of understand where that erogenous zone is in your vagina. That wasn't even the big part of what the problem was for me. For me, I believe that I was too much of a performer. I was so obsessed with the idea of pleasing that I was forgetting myself. I wanted to make sure that I was thoroughly attractive and everything that I was doing was attractive and pleasurable for him. I was ultimately putting on a show every time. And when you're thinking so much about someone else, you're thinking so much less about yourself. And once I realized that and was able to let my hair down and enjoy what was going on, not only from a pleasing point of view, but from a selfish point of view, I was able to derive pleasure from the experience where I can lay there and I can receive and I can get into my own head and think about what turns me on or think about what about him turns me on, what I like, and concentrate on the things that do it for me, like the sound of his breath, like looking at his face, like the faces that he makes, maybe the things that he says, how he moves, glancing at parts of his body that are attractive to me, things like that, being selfish about it and taking all of that in. That got me closer. And then not moving my body only to ways that I know gets a reaction out of him. And us girls know, you do this and you hear that sound, or you do that and that leg shakes or whatever, but not only concentrating on that. Now I learned how to move my body in a way that was pleasurable to me, regardless of how it might make him feel. Like, for instance, there's a position that I wouldn't have done before because it's not that he ever said it, but I can tell it's not one of his favorite positions. So I would never do it, but I love it. So sometimes I'll just say to him, like, sorry, but I got to be selfish right now. You don't have to do anything. You just lay there. And that's what he'll do. And I'll do what I have to do. And then I'll be pleased. I'm like, I got you in 6 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I just think that a lot of women aren't selfish enough during sex, and it doesn't have to be 100% selfish or 100% pleasing. I believe that women have to learn how to draw a balance between both so that it's mutually enjoyable. And I have a friend who's extraordinarily sexual, very, very, very sexual girl. And she had never had an orgasm during sex, just like the emailer. Mm-hmm. And she brought it to my attention. And I told her a much longer version of what I'm telling you now. I was giving her like very specific tips and things like that. And the next time that she had sex with her boyfriend, she had her first orgasm with a man during penetration ever. So that's the advice that I would give to the emailer. I understand why he thinks that you want to be with a woman, because if you said, if this thing doesn't work out, I'm just going to go find me a girl and make it work with her. Yeah, that's kind of like a little mental note that you drop in someone's mental mailbox that they're not really going to be able to get rid of, because no matter whether you're joking or whatever, everybody's familiar with the saying, everything comes from somewhere. So yeah. Especially with the backup knowledge that he has that you had been with a female in college, did she say? Mm-hmm. In college, I think you said. Yeah. If I'm him and I'm putting that work in and I'm doing my best and I just can't get you there, first of all, that's going to make me feel insecure. As though, what? You don't find me attractive? What? You don't enjoy me? What? We don't have that chemistry? What? You don't enjoy my body? Like, why can't you reach that climax with me? And if I know I'm packing, like you said he is, and if he's an attractive human being and he feels that you're attracted to him, he's going to think to himself, well, I don't think it's me. Then what could it be? Maybe she's just not attracted to men, especially with his backup information and what you've told him. It's a reasonable conclusion to come to, if I'm being honest. I would advise you not to fake it to get over this speed bump, because then you will just be being dishonest the way that I was. And I regretted that. And it caused a horrible, horrible, horrible ripple effect in my relationship that I probably didn't feel those waves until maybe a few years ago. Like, it was bad. So I definitely want to make sure that you don't think that that's the way to go. I think that you have to learn how to get in tune with yourself.
Okay. Well, I can't help you out in that situation, so Gia has to help you with that advice.
Yes, you don't have a vagina.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys for joining us.
No second email?
No, we have to go. But you know what? I'm going to answer the email. This is the thing that you do. Take Gia out of it. How you catch an orgasm, right? You say you get turned on in orgasm when he eats you out. Let him eat you out right when you're about to orgasm. Tell him to stick it in. Right there. That's 1. 2.
That might work.
That'll work. 2. When he's smashing you, you're having sex, making love, whatever you want to call it, you lay on your back, let him hit it. You play with your clit while he's knocking you off. You help him get to
like that point. That's how you want her to do it?
I don't know. I don't have a vagina. I guess so. But you help him get to that point. And I think those two things will work. If Gia's doesn't work, try mine.
I like it.
Okay. Well, we'll
That
see.
might actually work.
See that? Well, we'll see you guys next week. Time to get up out of here. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And that's another edition of the Casey Crew.
Toodles.
Look at the peace sign, Toodles!
Let's go to dinner.